Hi, I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and this is the review of Anidees AI Aureola version 2 3-pack RGB, well, actually ARGB LED fans. And that's what they came packaged in. So, hooray. And it comes complete-ish. I mean, you get 3 fans with a ring on one side, and there's 18 LEDs on the outside. There are 6 more in the hubs, and they have 6 pin? 5-pin JST connectors that handle both the fan control and the lighting control. And they have this nice hub, which includes a connector to go to PWM, a connector to go to either standard ARGB, or I forgot what the other one is called. It is called Gigabyte RGB header, which is also 3-pin, but it's not the same as the 4-1 pin of the other ones. So you get those. You also get a SATA cable. This is required. This and this are not required unless you want your motherboard to handle everything. Now, if you have it plugged into the motherboard, you can still use the remote control that it comes with. But please note that when you are plugging in the fans to the hub, you need to make sure that the first fan is plugged in here next to the LED. So you see this is the one going to PWM. You can see these are where the LED connections are if you have an LED strip you want to plug in. But you have to have the very first fan plugged in there, and then the second and the third and the fourth. You have to go in order. But it's not marked on here. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4 or anything like that to make it easy. If you don't plug them in the right places, it's not going to work right. At best, the fans will spin when the SATA power is on, and that's it. So if you want them to light up, do it right. That was very vexing because actually this is a replacement set. The first that I got, I think one of them was defective, so I had to send it back. But now, and the irony here is, had they bothered to put on the hub which fan goes where, then this would be less important. Now this shows you the different ways to plug it in. These are the parts you get. There's the remote control, and that's what all the buttons do for the remote control. And then on this side, we have if you're going to plug in just the SATA cable. Now, if you're going to do the SATA cable, PWM, and standard ARGB, it's got the instructions there. And finally, it tries to make it extremely clear which connectors are okay to plug the lighting into, and the one that's not okay, which is the RGB 4-pin header. Do not plug it into that unless you want to fry your lighting. So it's a good thing that this is in here, because without this, I wouldn't have known where fan 1 goes. So I would love to just very easily show you how well the colors work. And there are 256 colors. There are 14 modes, plus 4 more static color modes. So it's pretty varied, and that's assuming you're not using the motherboard. Even with the motherboard plugged in, you can still use this. You got to just do the double tap on this thing, or well, technically 1 to turn it on, and then 1 more, and it'll change it over to motherboard control. But either way, you can switch between the hub controlling everything with the remote control, or the motherboard controlling everything. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get this camera, and my current app does not have a pause button. Oh, isn't that lovely? You can look up my nose. I'm going to hide my nose from you. Yep, I don't have a nose. Nope, 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 no. Oh, dang. You saw up my nose again. All right. I'm going to plug this in so you guys can see how it actually works. So, enjoy the show as I muck about with this and try to get everything just so. No, that's not going to work. Maybe. Oh, no. I have no idea what that was, but I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. In fact, I won't lose any sleep over it. Oh, what was that? Oh, my chocolate covered espresso beans that I haven't tried yet. Okay. Seda. Oh, it was hiding behind this thing. Sorry about that. Here, I'll do it again so you can actually see it. We'll just go over here. Yeah, there's SATA. Now, with just SATA plugged in, if you take a look, you'll see that the fans are now spinning. And let's make this a little bit easier for you. Oh boy, I need a better solution. All right, so I'm going to do this. That one, that one. Ooh. All right, are you ready for the show? As best as I can get it, anyways. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see if I can get it to work again. Oh, there it is. Now I'm going to put it on auto so it'll just automatically switch between modes. Let me turn it over so you can see better. Isn't that exciting? Let's try a faster mode. See, you can change the speed of the lighting. You can increase or decrease the luminosity of the LEDs, which I think is really nice. And different modes. You can just do all kinds of. It gets tiring after a while. Sorry, 18 modes, but way more than that in terms of the number of key presses to get through all of them because there's different color or multiple colors for each mode. As you can see, it's taken me forever to get through this. Oh, that's so nice. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, now it's just doing double colors. So there are so many options as far as the color display you can do with this. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the sequential building like you can do with some other brands where you can have the lights come on one by one after running across the whole case, to build up in one spot. But anyways, so there are way more than that. You can also just do red, green, blue, and white. If you want to lock the remote control, there is this the lock button right there. You press it 5 times, and you press it 5 times again when you want to unlock it. So just to make sure you are aware, you can change the fan speeds, and it does flicker the lights when you change the fan speed, so low, medium, high. And here are the red, green, blue, and white light selections. Here are the mode selections, the green buttons. The blue buttons are for changing the speed of the changes of colors and stuff like that. So let's slow that down. Yeah. And then you can always set it on auto. I'm going to see. You can make it very, very dim. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to switch this over to motherboard control. Woo! All right, that's the RGB or ARGB, and here is the PWM. All right, so now we got all that plugged in, and yet it's not doing much. Why? Well, because I haven't switched it over to motherboard control. If I can get it to cooperate with me there. Hold on a second here. Got to wake up my friend, our Aura Sync from Asus. And hopefully it'll... Oh, come on. Don't do this again. This is annoying when it doesn't want to cooperate. All right, so this is the vexing point that I have experienced with this, is that sometimes you can get it to sync with the motherboard and sometimes you cannot. And so it's a little bit glitchy, a little bit irritating. You're supposed to double click to choose the motherboard control. Double click the power button. But again, it doesn't always want to do that. And I'm not really sure why that is. I mean, before I started this video, it was working. Yeah, so it's a bit irritating. All right, let's see if I can maybe, and maybe not. Yeah, it's not cooperating again, so screw that. I've already spent a long time just trying to do this for you, and it's, yeah. So as you can see, it potentially is a good buy. And given that you pay like $27 for the package, it's pretty cheap. Now, you're not going to get the huge range of colors you're going to get on some other fans. However, it supports Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte Fusion 2.0. So it also has all these options that I've demonstrated to as best as I can. It's just that, yeah, it's a bit irritating. But, enough about all that. And the fact that it's a 5-pin JST connector, so that I have to have a special adapter in order to be able to actually, use it as it's intended to be used without a damned proprietary hub in the way. Just slightly irritating. That's all, slightly. And so I'm putting away the remote control now because I'm fed up with it not cooperating. And we're going to just go ahead and run the fans so you can hear the volume. I'm going to unplug the others, which unfortunately I can't pause because this app doesn't allow pausing, which is really stupid. Yeah, hold on. And sadly, because of the way this is set up, I don't really have full control over the fan like I would if, say, oh, I don't know, if I had it plugged into my motherboard, if it wanted to cooperate with my motherboard. So I'm going to try to fake it out by using my fan controller. Oh, don't. Well, not good. But hey, we're making progress. So, let's see what I can do here to maybe... There it is. Yes, I know. This is taking a long time, and I apologize profusely because it's taking a long time. Let's just pray for a miracle and see if... Okay, so it's not taking the signal, apparently. Yeah, so unfortunately, I can't currently control it like it's theoretically supposed to be controlled. So it's an on-again, off-again thing, unless you only want to use the remote. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just hope for the best, I guess, would be the right word or phrase. Because honestly, at this point, I don't know what else I can do other than hope for the best. All right, so let's try putting it on low speed. It's actually kind of noisy, surprisingly. Now, the maximum speed on this is 1500 RPM, so let's bump it up to medium. That's actually kind of loud. But I guess, you know, that's what you get with a cheap bearing. So that's maximum speed right now. Let's go ahead and compare this to the Noctua. Ow. I didn't need that finger. I've got 9 more. So it's quieter than the Noctua, but still audible. Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I was waiting to buy this. I waited until it was on sale, and I finally got it. And I was like, yes, I finally got the Anidees. I wasn't really sure whether I was going to be happy with it or not, but now I know the answer, that it's frustrating and works inconsistently. And that's partially it's just because the instructions are not good enough, and partially because they don't label fan 1 on the hub. And as for the rest, I don't know. I mean, it's just annoying. On the bright side, however, and there's always a bright side, it's inexpensive, right? What can we use this for? Well, I think the only thing that this is actually going to be good for would be on a case. I mean, theoretically, I suppose you could use it on some air coolers, but it's certainly not going to be like amazing at cooling off a heatsink. So I would, steer clear of that and just stick to using it for intake or exhaust on your case, because that's most likely not going to have any problems whatsoever. I guess that's really it, except for the specifications, which we'll take a look at right now. All right, so these are the Anidees AI Aureola version 2, or GF1202512 SEHN, and they're $886 a piece in the 3-pack, which is with taxes $26.58 or so. Although I believe that is not actually the price that it currently sells at. Well, let me just take a look here. Nope, it's at $40 now. So limited offer, don't miss it. This is worse than what I paid for it. So miss it. Wait for the price to go down, because it's really not worth $40 for these. Yeah, definitely wait for this kind of a price. And so it's certified by CEUL, TÜV, and made in China, 120 by 25. And whereas the Noctua gives you at least 150 hours of life and 6-year warranty, Anidees doesn't seem to give you anything, at least not that I could find. It does have 18 LED RGB, ARGB, 18 ARGB LEDs that provide 256 colors, and it's fairly smooth transitioning, I think, but not amazing. And it supports ASUS, Gigabyte Fusion 2, and MSI. The weight is, well, according to the packaging, it's 120 grams, and on the website, it's 120 and a half. But when I weighed one of them, I came up with 130. And that's versus 200 grams for the Noctua. 7 blades versus 9, 600 to 1500 RPMs versus 450 to 2000. 10% variance. Maximum airflow of 35.2 CFMs versus the Noctua's 102.1. Maximum static pressure of 1.04 millimeters of water versus Noctua's 2.34. 24.8 decibels versus whatever the Noctua's actually is, which is not 22.6. 50 centimeters for the fan cable length, and you can't daisy chain it except for obviously by the hub. It's not sleeved. It's got a 5-pin JST connector, rifle bearings, 12 volts starting at 4.5 volts. 3.84 watts and 0.08 amps. It doesn't give any information on the lighting, but the lighting is going to be 5 volts. I just don't know what the actual power and amperage are, because most companies don't want to provide that information for whatever reason. It does not indicate direction of flow or rotation. It's a clockwise spinning fan. Comes with 4 screws and corner cushions, and then you get the hub that allows 2 LED strips. I should specify we're talking about ARGB. And it could be 3-pin or PWM plus ARGB fans. And you can either run it using the PWM and ARGB and SATA, or just SATA by itself. Also, it has the remote control, which some people think is good, and I tend to prefer that over a box that's connected to the hub that you have to probably reach inside the case to change the lighting. But honestly, I don't really care about lights, so whatever. Doesn't matter to me. And that is pretty much all there is to tell you about that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share.